how's it going, guys? Welcome to a very special, very unique episode of Nerd News right here on the Chuckload of Comics show. We're doing something very, very different. This is not a funny show. I'm not making any jokes. What we're doing, I, like many of you, am being forced to socially distance myself socially. We live in Chicago. Lots of things are shutting down. We expect potentially maybe a total citywide shutdown to come any day now. So while I'm being distanced socially, I've been doing a lot of research. I've been talking to a lot of my peers. I'm talking to a lot of people about this social distancing thing. You know, does it work? How does it work? Learned a lot, and I've been talking with people online, and they said, well, Chuck, you obviously understand how this works. You have this platform on YouTube. Why don't you use it and explain it? How it works, and does it work? How do the different ways that people are proposing to stop this virus, you know, how do they look when compared to one another? So that's what I'm going to do right now. So stick around. I'm going to make this nice and short. I've got some very interesting animations and graphs that I'm going to show to you. What are we trying to do here? This is the curve that everybody's pretty much become aware of. This is the exponential curve. This is what we're trying to avoid. What this basically is, it is one person gets it, gives it to another person, then two people gives it to four gives it to eight gives it to 16 gives it to the third two. It basically just doubles and doubles and doubles until the entire country, the entire planet becomes infected. That's what we're trying to avoid. So how do we flatten that curve out? There's a number of ways that have been proposed. I first saw these animations on the John Campea show on YouTube. I'm going to put a link to that down in the description of this video. They come from the Washington Post in an article called Why Outbreaks Like Coronavirus Spread Exponentially and How to Flatten the Curve. So first thing we're going to look at is these. These are these little bouncing balls here. This is the bouncing ball animation. You can see the blue balls. Save the jokes to the end, you perverts. The blue balls represent healthy people. The brown balls represent sick people, and they later turn into purple balls, which represents people where the disease has run its course and people are healthy again. So starting out with blue, brown means you're sick, purple means you're better. Let's first take a look at what we call the free-for-all. You can see in this animation, this is 200 balls bouncing around, completely random. Nobody's changing anything they do, and you can see very quickly the virus spreads insanely fast. When everybody just does everything, nobody stops, nobody quarantines themselves, nobody distances themselves from one another. We go about our business. And if you look up at the top, this counter thing, this little counter chart, basically shows how we start with a lot of blue. Eventually, towards the middle, the blue goes completely away. And at one point, it all becomes brown, meaning everybody's gotten sick. And then eventually, it turns all to purple after the virus has run its course. That's what we're trying to avoid, is everybody getting sick. Because, as we all know, this can be a potentially deadly disease. It's not just like getting the flu. You people can die. So the less people get it, the better it is for everybody. So clearly, letting it just run its course and everybody going about their business is a terrible way to do it. So let's take a look at the quarantine. So what happens if you take all the sick people and you put them in a box and you keep all the healthy people away from the sick people? A lot of people think, that that's the way to handle it. But if you talk to the people at CDC and the World Health Organization, they've tried this before. They report that that doesn't work because inevitably someone with the disease does get out and into the general population. As you see in this animation, it starts out real nice, brown on one side, blue on the other, but then as one or two people start getting out, it very quickly spreads throughout the population, just like if we did nothing at all. You can see on the graph at the top where it starts out kind of slow, but as soon as it gets out, it spikes again, and of course you see the blue eventually goes down to zero, meaning that everybody who was healthy eventually at some point or another gets the disease. So it actually goes slower and makes it run longer when you try to quarantine everybody. So that almost seems like a worse idea than everybody doing it all at once. So now we're going to take a look at what everybody's familiar with. That is social distancing. What does that mean? That means you stay in your home, stay away, just everybody chill out and stay away from the public for a little while. And first one we're going to look at is moderate social distancing. So in this animation, we're going to show what happens to the disease when 3/4 of the dots stay perfectly still. That represents people staying in their homes, not going out and interacting with other people, not going to work. So this is moderate. This is 3/4 of the people. 3/4 of the balls you can see are stopping perfectly still while the other 1/4 are moving around at random, still bumping into other random balls. And the first thing you can see is how slow the thing moves and how few brown dots you see in the graph. More importantly, if you look up at the top, look at the top. There, at no point does all the blue go away. That means some people will never, ever, ever contract the disease. It means some of these people, when you see the blue never going away, it just means that some of these people will just stay healthy the entire time. And look how fewer people get sick with a moderate distancing. So that's a first shine, a little ray of sunshine in this whole thing. So now let's take a look at extreme distancing. In extreme distancing, everybody's staying put. Let's see if 1 in every 8 people continues to move around. So 7/8 of the people are staying put, not moving at all. You can see in this simulation that very little sickness gets moved around. It's almost all blue if you look at the top little chart here. It's so many people are healthy and remain healthy, and so few people actually get sick. So that's social distancing. It's clear in these random simulations that if people just stop, don't move, don't go around, don't travel, don't move around unless it's absolutely necessary, just stay put. If you just stay put, less people will get sick, and the people that do get sick will get healthy before they get in touch with you. So there you go, guys. I mean, free-for-all, adaptive quarantine, moderate distancing, and extensive distancing. Let us know. Let me know what you think about this. I know it ran a little bit longer than I thought, but I thought it was really, really interesting. So stick around. We're going to do, I think, more of these, the more we think of them. So let us know in the comments section, what are you doing? How are you enjoying your social distancing? Is your town shutting down at all? And what do you think about these animations? Do you think they're full of crap? Or do you think there's some merit to them? Let us know in the comment section, guys. Again, click the subscribe button right here on Chuckload of Comics. We're going to do more of these types of videos as this thing plays out. So really appreciate you watching. Hope you learned a couple things. We'll see you here next time right here on Chuckload of Comics. Have a good, safe day.